Decisions that shape the United Kingdom have been made in the historic Parliament building for hundreds of years, but there are major flaws hiding behind its grandiose walls. An investigation found parts of the structure are badly affected by asbestos crumbling, stonework, and old wiring. Jonathan Vigliotti got a rare look behind the scenes at the world's heritage site. He joins us from London with the work that needs to be done to save it. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, and it's your typical day here in London, which is to say it's cold and overcast, but that likely won't stop thousands of tourists from coming here to take photos of Parliament. It's one of the most photographed buildings in the world, and from the outside, it is beautiful, but as we saw firsthand on the inside, it's literally falling apart. The Palace of Westminster sits on the banks of London's famous river. Its neo-Gothic structure has been called the gingerbread house on the Thames because of the stunning detail in its architecture. But within its walls are two historic houses. The House of Lords and the House of Commons are the seat of government and debate and shape the country's laws.
We shall defend our island.
It's led Britain into war.
We shall fight on the beaches.
And will soon determine its path out of the European Union.
Brexit does mean Brexit.
The palace was almost lost to a great fire in 1834 and narrowly survived the Blitz during World War II.
But Big Ben refused to stop work for a second, even if his hands did shake a bit.
But neglect may finally do what Hitler's bombs could not.
If this was somebody else's house, it would have been, pulled down by now.
Chris Bryant, a member of Parliament who is part of the $4.5 billion restoration project, thinks Westminster doesn't just need to save nearly 1,000 years of history, it needs to be brought into the modern world.
You want to keep it standing for another 1,000 years or so?
I want to keep it standing, but I also want it to be a building that works for the 21st century, the 22nd century, the 23rd century, and that does mean some changes.
Much like the views from on top of Parliament, the task of repairing this palace is simply breathtaking. Sure, after centuries, the roof may be leaking and a bit rusty, but it's nothing compared to the problems that lie beneath this hood. Westminster has never been fully refurbished since the fire of 1834, although it has been modernized along the way. But every time new technology came in, the old stuff stayed in place. But Palace engineer Andy Piper thinks they've been layering on Band-Aids for too long.
You can see all the cabling and pipework above all this. All this needs to be replaced and come out.
It goes up several feet.
It does. It's like reverse archaeology. Because at the bottom's the newest stuff.
So this is 2017.
Yeah, exactly.
So what does that make all the way up there?
So you start probably 1950s.
1950.
But there's stuff here that's 130 years old.
Wow.
So, it's anything from 130 down to 2017.
And nearly 200 years down the line, fire is still the biggest fear.
You can feel the heat, obviously. Is this a fire hazard?
So everything you see around you, all this aging electrical equipment, yes, it's a huge fire hazard. And that's why we've got 24/7 fire teams to deal with this risk. And the problem is if a fire really took hold here, we're not sure we'd be able to save the building.
Not the most encouraging words there, but we are told if there was a fire, there are enough exits for people to safely escape, simply not enough sprinklers to contain the blaze. And as urgent as all of this sounds, Gail, we're told right now there still is no vote on the table yet to approve this proposed restoration plan.
All right, Jonathan Vigliotti, to be continued for sure. Thank you.